Well, Jeff, you're back on the practice field this morning. What did it feel like to get back out there?
It's fun. It's fun. You know, just got to learn our way around some things, And I know the defense had it way better. They were on the grass, and I coached more defense today than I have since I've been here. I think it's a lot cooler, and the wind blows a lot more over there. So, got to kind of learn the way of the land. One thing I think it is fair to mention for our kids, and it's part they know this is, last year we had 12 walkthroughs right before this, which those things were very beneficial, and so that was a tremendous advantage last year as compared to this year. That was our first time with our kids, so there were too many balls on the ground, too much cramping, just typical first day stuff. Where we kind of worked through a lot of that last year because those 12 walkthroughs.
What's your schedule look like this first week or so?
Well, they're going to lunch right now, and they're actually in the cold tubs right now. Then they're headed to lunch, and then they'll have some academic stuff we got to knock out, some media stuff, some pictures, those kind of things today from like 1 to 3. Then we'll have meetings. They'll eat. We'll have some more meetings and some walkthroughs, and they'll get to bed. Hopefully by 10. Get up, do it again tomorrow morning.
When do you think you get into some pads?
Monday is shell, and I'm not sure if Tuesday's full or Wednesday. I have to look at when full is, but I think shell's Monday. With the new rules, I got to be very careful for player safety. So I know it sounds like coach talk, but I literally try to win today. And I know we have the schedule made out, obviously, but I haven't even looked past today and tomorrow. I know what tomorrow looks like, JJ. I know what Sunday looks like. I think Monday's show.
Given the COVID season and fast forward to this building and just everything being back to normal, what was the temperature of the enthusiasm you saw out there today? Just kind of this new feel?
Distracted, excited. I brought them up. I did some studying this year, and statistically there was not much difference between winning home stadium, visiting stadium last year. So you think the crowd makes all the difference, but the stats were kind of the same. Now I'm trusting the writer that wrote the article, so I'm sure the media is right on point, right? But the author of the article made it sound like there was not much difference statistically about the number of wins at home versus the number of losses at home. So it does make me wonder, maybe it's not the crowd as much as it is just familiarity with your surroundings. And today it felt like a road game kind of. We were distracted. We were worried about a bunch of stuff that really had nothing to do with winning football games. And I get it because it's new. And I was too. I'm like, where am I supposed to be right now? I mean, this is now called T1 and T2 and G1 and G2. And what does that mean? Excuse me, Chase. So I understand that, but I thought it was a great teaching opportunity for us. It's kind of like a road game today because we weren't used to where we were.
In your evaluation of the team as a whole today, I don't know if you got to take a look, as much as you'd want to in depth, but how would you kind of evaluate the overall shape of the team after being a part for a couple months here?
Well, Ryan Philo does a fantastic job. We had receivers, guys that you would think getting cramps, were getting them. And it was all the way from our veteran older players that pushed through to young guys that were about done after warm-up. So it's always, I'm not a big D recruit coach. We as a staff don't do that. Once they sign, we don't treat them any differently. We treat them the same the entire time they're here. But today's always a very humbling day for young athletes that have had their tails kissed their entire life, and now they get out there and it's just moving so fast. And there's so many great players out there. And our freshmen did fantastic, but I can promise you they're glad to get to lunch and get in that bed here quick.
Were there any guys new or returning on the other end of the spectrum who just came back in great shape or caught your eye in that sense?
Yeah, I was really proud of. I haven't watched the video yet, so you got to be very, very careful about that. But I watched Sincere. He works like he's just trying to win a job, not keep one. Rashad, obviously. Chuck Wiley, he's always leading out there. Josh Seamus did a fantastic job leading today. Leroy did a really good job. Our O-line is always very solid. Those guys do a great job up there. I saw, some corners make some plays in one-on-one, drop some interceptions. But, yeah, I'm sure I'm not naming everybody accordingly, but those some guys I just noticed off the hoof.
You've touched on this a little bit, but being in the new facility, was there anything about the process of just getting guys in, getting into the field, holding a practice that jumped out or might have been different than you expected?
The Vikings were here today, and their scout said to me how really, really impressed he was with just the energy of the entire practice. And he said, Coach, it's not just your players, like your strength staff is energetic the whole time. Your video staff is energetic the whole time. Your training staff, your equipment people. He said, everybody on your field is just full of energy and goes all the time. That was a very impressive practice to watch. I even had him share that with our team because I thought that was so impressive for our guys to hear that. So you're probably wondering, why did I say that with the question you asked? Because those are the people that got it all taken care of. It was almost seamless. Now I know what all Nick and Dan had to do down there in that training room and stretch, get that equipment room ready and follow, but they just got it all done. So it didn't seem like we had zero things that came to my knowledge, but I'm sure if you would get Nick and stretch and follow to the side, they'd be like, oh, we had about 100 problems that I don't even know about. They took care of it for me.
The surface was great with the turf and the grass and everything. Anything that jumped out in terms of the actual playing area?
No, the turf is fantastic. It's Bermuda, and it's cut. It was nice, a lot cooler than the turf was. But we'll rotate. We'll let one group have it for a week, and we'll switch. Right now, the defense has got it, and the offense is on the turf. And next week, we'll probably just flip that over.
You mentioned that there was going to be some more scholarship guys just because of the way the super senior situation worked out. Does that change anything about how you have to structure practice or how workouts go?
I don't know if you noticed, but we did a lot of split field. So we had 4 teams going at once, and we've never been able to do that. So that was way different, which contributed to the cramping because kids were getting twice the reps. Because you had, like, say, 1s and 3s on one field and your 2s and 4s on the other field, and we've never been able to do that before. So that was nice for the depth, and it keeps everybody happy because they're getting reps. And here in a couple of weeks, we won't be able to do that anymore. It'll just be really 1s and 2s, and then we'll see how good our culture is when those 3s and 4s realize they're 3s and 4s and not 1s and 2s.
When you spoke Wednesday, you were talking about how excited you were to Thursday yesterday afternoon to get everybody in here and see their faces. Did you take a moment to see the reaction from all these guys walking in here for the first time?
I did. I usually on Twitter, I kind of glance and I'm going to retweet and give us the hashtag too when I'm trying to look toughness right. But a lot of those videos I watched, like I went through and watched. A lot of those pictures I saved. Like how you do that? I guess you hold it down and save the photo and do that. And there was so many great. Like Rashad, this was special. Like he wanted one that's one of you guys took with him and I in my office, and I saw it on social media. And somehow I held it down and showed it on the phone. And I shared it with Rashad. It's one of his favorite pictures. So there's a lot of that going on right now. Guys have a lot of special moments in certain areas, but I love to get their smiles. Our social media account, our UTSA football account, did a great job when those guys were walking in the building. Those are memories that we'll have forever. Those guys will look back when they're our age one day, and they'll really appreciate it even more than they do right now.